Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the second part of economics chapter development. Earlier we had seen that income is very important for a person in his daily life. Along with income, we had also seen that along with income, a person needs safety, security, friendly environment, respect for himself in the society. All these things were also very important. Along with this, now we are going to see that along with a person's income, we will also see that what a person needs for a country. National income in the country is also very important when we calculate the development of a country. National income, as is defined, the sum total of income of all the citizens of a country. This is called national income. Now, in case of a country, we see that a country also determines its development with the help of its income, national income. We have seen that if a country has more income, we call that country as developed country. A country has less income, we call it as underdeveloped or developing country. Now, national income can be calculated in different country in different manners, and every country will have its own method or way to calculate national income. When we look into the methods of comparing different countries, then this method of finding out national income and comparing countries will can be said that it is very difficult. Why difficult? Because there are several other things which countries look into. All the people living in the country may not be same. The resources in the country may not be same. I give you an example. Every country has its own population where the number of people, that is the population, is different. Some country has more population, some country has less population, less people living, some country have more resources, some country has less resources. So in that case, what we say that we compare the income of the people living in the country and find out the average or the per capita income of the people. Now, how do we define average or per capita income? When national income is divided by the total population of the country, it is known as the per capita income or average income. Now, average income, when it is calculated, then we say that if a country has higher per capita or average income, then we say the country is more developed. When we say the average income or the per capita income is less, then we say that the country is less developed. This is also proved by a report that is the World Development Report. In this World Development Report, we will find out that first of all, countries with per capita income of US dollar 12,056 per annum per person in 2017, these countries are called rich countries or developed countries. In second point is countries with per capita income of US dollar 955 per person per annum or less up till 2017, they are called low income countries or poor countries, whereas India lies in the category of low middle income, where its income is US dollar 1820 per person per annum up till 2017. This report is published by the World Development Report, and this mentions the condition of income, average income of each country. Now, when we look into this average income, then we can find out what are the ways and means these average income can be calculated. This also we can do it with the help of an example. of this in this example, we will find out in table 1.2. This is an example given in your NCERT textbook. In this example, we will see that two countries are given, country A and country B, and two countries, they are evaluated with same average income. Both the countries' average income is same. Now we will see that in country A, there are 5 citizens living in this country. This is just for an example that it is being said. 5 citizens living in this country, and all the citizens are having an income which is more or less the same, somewhat less or more they are given, and in this manner all the citizens in the country are more or less earning the same or nearby an income they have. Okay, all the 5 citizens, and they have an average. Now country B is a country where first 4 citizens are having a very less income, only 500 rupees or dollars they are saying, whereas the 5th citizen is a rich person who is having the maximum income of the country. But now here we see, when they are saying that both the countries' average income is same, then what do we find out? We see that average income is telling us which country is developed, which country is poor. But another thing that it is also telling us, it is hiding so many differences. It is not telling us whether the country is able to have more people as poor or more people as less poor, or it is having it is not telling us about so many information, whether the people are not working in the country or are not earning anything. That also cannot be found out. So average income is giving us information, but this information is incomplete, and thus we say that average income, calculation of average income and finding out whether the countries are developed or not developed is also an incomplete information which it is provided if we calculate or if we compare countries with the help of average income. So there may be some other criteria to find out along with average income. So here we are seeing 3 terms. We are seeing looking into 3 different terms like infant mortality rate (IMR), the terms like literacy rate, terms like net attendance ratio. These are also very important in finding out how countries can be compared. So we will see into these terms. Infant mortality rate indicates the number of children that die before age or reaching the age of 1 year. That is, the children who are lesser than 1 year, they die, and it is compared at a proportion of 100 living children who are born during that particular year or particular time duration. Okay, now this means that according to this infant mortality rate, we will find out how many children exactly they are dying at less than 1 year. Okay. Now literacy rate measures the proportion of literate population who are at the age of 6 or 7 when they should go to get their primary education. When they start their education, how many children exactly are going to take literacy, who are not going to take literacy. If suppose literacy rate is 45%, that means 5 children out of 100 are not taking any education. Net attendance ratio is the total number of children up till the age group of 14 or 15 who are exactly attending school. This is calculated or found out at a percentage of the total number of children at the same age group. That is, if suppose 100 children are going to school, 100 children are there at the age of 15, then out of 100 children, how many children are exactly going to school at the age of 14 or 15? This will show the attendance ratio of school of the children at that particular area. Now these terms are also very, very important. Now when we compare countries, we will see in the further example how these terms are used. Now we will look into another table in your NCERT textbook, that is table 1.3 and table 1.4 as you see it here. First we will look into table 1.3. It shows 3 states in our country, and these states, and in the second part we are seeing the per capita income of these 3 states. The 3 states are Haryana, Kerala and Bihar, and their per capita income is given. Here we see that Haryana is having a very high per capita income, whereas Bihar is having the lowest per capita income. Now, so when we look at this table, what do we see? We find, what do we conclude with this table? We conclude with this table that Haryana will be more developed, whereas Bihar will be the least developed state. Okay. But when we look into table 1.4, then what do we find? We find that Haryana is having infant mortality rate, that is 30. If we look into this column only, infant mortality rate for Haryana is 30. We look into Kerala, the infant mortality rate is 10, and Bihar has infant mortality rate as 35. Now, when we look at Kerala and Haryana, then Haryana's infant mortality average income is the highest, so it should be more developed. If it is more developed, then why is the infant mortality rate so high in Haryana? 3 times that of Kerala. But again we see Bihar's infant mortality rate is 35. Then we can conclude that because Bihar's income is so less, it may happen that the number of children dying are also more. But then when we compare with Bihar and Haryana, the income is the highest for Haryana and the rate of children dying is also more, whereas Bihar's income is so less and the rate of children dying is high, but not much higher than Haryana. So here we find that the difference between the income, average income, is so wide, whereas infant mortality rates differences between the two states is not at all wide. So here we see that average income calculation will not match with the other calculations, also may not match. Okay, so now let's go and see with the same thing with the literacy rate and net attendance ratio. When we look at the net attendance ratio, we will find that in Bihar it is only 43 children attending school, whereas in Haryana it is 61 children, whereas Kerala is the highest ranking, maximum literacy rate and maximum net attendance ratio, having the maximum it is in Kerala. Now, when we look at Bihar's factor, there are only 43 children attending school at the age of 14 and 15. That means that more than half of the 50% of the children in Bihar are not taking literacy or not attending school at the age of 14 and 15. So if I would have been, or if children of age of 14 or 15 would have been there along with the students in Bihar, then I would have found that so many children are not taking literacy and are not going to school at that age, during that age in Bihar. So you find that average income is an incomplete factor which cannot give us the exact picture of what shall be the other criteria of comparison when we have so vast differences of other criteria among the average income of a particular area as well as the other conditions like infant mortality rate, literacy rate and the net attendance ratio. So students, I hope you have understood that there are so many things we have to find out. We will continue this this topic again with the third part. So here we come to the end of the second part, or part 2 of the development chapter. Thank you.